how to add customer care to your mobile app in 15 minutes, presented by Jacada founder and co-CEO Gideon Hollander. This is an interactive webinar and will be conducted in a different format from what you may have experienced before. To experience the full power of our product, we're asking you those of you who have smartphones, to download a mobile client application now while waiting for the webinar to start. In your app store, appropriate for your device, the App Store for iOS or Google Play Store for Android, search for Jacada Mobile Agent to download and install the app. During this webinar, you will see our presenter publish interactions directly to this mobile app. After the webinar is over, we'll have questions and answers. Also, you can present your questions in the Q&A box in your webinar window. And now I'll turn over to our founder and co-CEO of Jacada, Gideon Hollander. Giddy?
Well, thank you, Lee, and thanks everyone for joining us today. It is my goal today to give you a quick overview of the mobile customer service industry, and more importantly, to show you how you can quickly create mobile self-service applications. Every once in a while, a technology evolution occurs that fundamentally changes the way business is conducted. One such technology evolution is the rise of the smartphone and mobile devices. Not so long ago, we struggled with text entry on our phones. If you remember pressing the digit 2 for 3 times to get the letter C, it was just not long ago. And we were happy to see advanced applications such as calculators. We fast forward a few years and mobile phones or tablets are our go-to devices for everything from making calls and surfing the web to sending emails. In fact, according to Flurry, for the first time, mobile app usage has exceeded that of traditional web browsing. Smartphone adoption is obviously high. At least 1/3 of mobile consumers are smartphone users. Wired reports some demographics as high as 50%. However, right behind that is tablet adoption, which is exceeding that of smartphones. It is expected that by 2016 there will be 126 million tablets and 257 million smartphones users in the US alone. This tablet and mobile growth is even more interesting when you look at their combined growth. Gartner predicts that by 2016, the installed base of mobile PCs and smartphones will exceed that of desktop PCs. This should leave little doubt that mobile is becoming the primary engagement channel. And mobile adoption is one side of the story. Mobile usage numbers are just as compelling. The numbers speak for themselves. People spend more time using mobile apps than they do browsing the web from their PC. And over 40 billion apps have been downloaded. So the way we look at it, we can't treat mobile anymore as another channel or another neglected channel. We support this and this is because mobile becoming the primary channel. And I think that's what everyone needs to understand and do it accordingly. And mobile devices can accelerate the self-service as consumers having their smartphones at hand at all times, while they also have the ability to complete a transaction through a call because the phone is built in with a call option. So unlike a self-service today from a computer which you cannot do it, with the phone you can start a self-service application, but at any point you can press the call button and continue the conversation just in a different media, which is the voice. And that's the big difference from what exists today in self-service. So this webinar is to demonstrate how organizations can start to utilize the mobile channel. We will demonstrate Jacada Mobile Agent and show you how you can quickly create customer care self-service flows to run on mobile devices. So what is JMA? Well, JMA is the acronym Jacada Mobile Agent. JMA allows customers to engage in mobile self-service sessions that visually maps out the steps of your customer service process, where you can start with the IVR, because the IVR is usually a 3 steps of doing self-service. You can start with the 3 steps and continue and do more. It allows customers to visually guide themselves through the self-service interaction and interact directly with the system to solve their problem. All this without the annoyance and limitations of IVR systems. And I can tell you, I met many customers in this industry, and I haven't found even one person as a consumer that they like IVRs. The mobile self-service interaction, or we call it visual IVR, has full support for data entry and sophisticated self-service capabilities, including being able to proactively mine knowledge bases for information and retrieve or update customer information from underlying line of business applications. For calls that do require agent's assistance, however, the goal is to provide a seamless transition to the voice channel from the self-service channel. Creating this seamless transition requires connecting the mobile session with the agent session. This begins by giving customers information about current hold times and offering the option of scheduling a callback. We are going to see everything later. Even better, the underlying systems can be pre-populated. It means that the data can be retrieved and presented to the agent with the customer information, and which adds a further benefit of reduced handling time. Jacada Mobile Agent easily bridges the gap between mobile, self-service, and the call center, with seamless transfer to voice channels at any place within a self-service interaction. So what is it, Jacada Mobile Agent? I hope you all can see now the slide. And let's start from the bottom left. It starts with a designer, that a business analyst can design the interaction. Once they publish the interaction, it puts on the server where you see all the 3 colors in the center. And then the next time is a smartphone user access through the application or through the website, through a smartphone user website, it gets the user interface of the interaction and can start the self-service process. If they complete the self-service process by themselves, that's great. However, if at one point they want to call an agent, they call the agent. That's what you see in the top right. The agent receives the call, and they see all the history of the transactions or the steps the customer has already done. They know who the customer is, and they can continue seamlessly the conversation from the point that the customer left. And that's the whole concept of mobile customer service. Let's dig a little bit to the details. Let's start with the Jacada Mobile Agent, the designer. This designer is really built for business analysts. There was a lot of time and tests spent with a lot of business users, and we know that it takes a very short time to build an application. You'll see me today in 15, but I can tell you it's very easy to build. You don't need to be an IT expert. You can be a business person, and you can do it by yourself. And what's nice, that although it is simple, you can build complex rules. And all are graphical rules. All you can see it very easily in front of you. And once you finish, all you have to do is press the button and say publish. You don't need to compile, you don't need to go through Apple approval process or anything like that. Press the publish button and it's hot deployed. The next time a customer will access the server, they will get the new interaction. What's also important to notice for all of you, a question that we've been asked in many times. They say, I want to use the same self-service design here, I want to use on my website. What will I do? I don't want to have it twice. So what we do, we have different user interface generator. We generate user interface for a mobile, and we generate user interface for the website. It looks different, but from the flow point of view, it's exactly the same thing. So we talked about that once the customer used the application and they finish the self-service, or at one point they want to call the agent, they have the option to press the call button. Now, you know the world is instant. No one wants to wait for an agent. We've all been in this situation, correct? Once customers see long waiting time, they can opt to schedule a callback or chat online. In all cases, once the call starts, all the self-service part the customer has done is visible for the agent. And I think that's the big thing here, that you don't have to start from the beginning. Today, most of call centers record their calls for regulatory and quality purposes. And interactions move to the mobile, they must be recorded as well. Because it's not anymore just 2-3 steps, it can be a lot more steps, and you will be in a situation from regulatory and for quality purposes and for improvement purposes, you want to see the auditing and the reporting. And JMA provided built-in the product. We provide auditing features that can also be used for reporting and giving the business a tool that can further improve the interaction. And with that overview, I would now like to demonstrate the product. For you to know, we have opted to record part of the demonstration to allow us to pause and explain what is happening. However, the publishing of the interaction to the mobile will happen live, and you will see this on your device. Okay. So what you are looking now is the JMA Designer. These designers allow you to create interactions for both mobile client as well as interaction for your agent desktop. When you create a new interaction, you can choose the interaction type as you can see here. Let's choose new mobile interaction. We are prompted to provide some basic information, such as providing the name, what I wrote here, modem troubleshooting, a version, even though JMA will automatically version your interactions, and a description. The description I'm writing here helps to document the interaction for use for approval. Now we presented with a blank canvas for us to start creating the interaction. The toolbar at the top shows the various components we can use to create our customer service flows. We have statements, questions, choices, business rules, decision nodes, and on the right side, your IT department can create custom components that talk to your underlying line of business applications. They will appear here as visual objects that can be dragged and dropped. We'll now use some of these components to create our flow. For the sake of this demonstration, we will create a modem troubleshooting flow, as one may expect to use to diagnose a modem issue. Of course, the script we built here will be will be very simple, as our goal is to show you how the product works and how quick it is to build interactions. You can obviously build far more complex interactions, including integration to your underlying business application. But we hope this demo script will give you a good sense of the product ease of use. Okay, so let's start our interaction. Okay, I'll start with a statement. I'll take the statement node. A statement allows us to display information to the user. So I drag it to the canvas. Okay, we give it a name, which will be a reference name. And then we provide a text. which will be displayed to the user. I write here a little bit something along. Thank you for using our modem diagnostic. I'm writing it to be a little more professional, so you will see that will be displayed to you at the end on the device. As you can see, it's very easy to use. You see, you put a name, you put it what will be to display to the user, and later, in a couple of steps, an advanced user can view it as HTML, and because the HTML can give you a little bit more capabilities for editing. So, for example, here we'll take the sentence I just wrote and we'll highlight the thank you by making it bold. That's it. Now we can click the OK and we're done. Now let's add a question. We will use the question element, which will drop onto our canvas. The question will be to check the modem power by asking if the modem light is on, which is a fairly standard. We'll ask, is the modem power on? The question can ask the user for different input types. And as you can see, I chose here the yes/no style question, so we select that option. We'll see later, I'll show you later other things. We now have the power, and as you can see, now I connect the power from the start statement. That's good. So let's continue. If the power is not on, we will ask the user to verify the power cables and to also check the socket using another appliance. I am again using the statement node, which you already saw earlier. Now, as you will see over and over in this demonstration, you have to know very few things. You have to give a name, a reference name. You have to type the text to the user, give the page a title, and press OK. This is to have a statement. That's all. You have to connect the lines, between the different nodes, and you have to put the questions. That's all what we need to do. It's very easy to use. So I tap that, and now I give the page a title, and I'll press the OK button. After the OK, what I need to do? That's right. I need to connect the nodes. So let me connect the nodes. But here, something interesting happens. The system recognizes that the originating node is the yes/no question, so I'll be prompted to select if this branch is the yes or the no branch. I selected the no branch, and you will see above the line that it said that it's the no branch. Now let's have another question to ask whether the situation has been resolved. If it hasn't, we can do one thing. If it has, we can stop. We save the call, correct? Because it did it self-service. We ask the question, did it resolve it? Again, we select the type, yes, no. We click OK, and we connect. See it again, the same process again and again. If it hasn't been resolved, in our example, we will start the return procedure and connect them to an agent. Of course, in the real world, you would go through more troubleshooting steps before you start the return procedure, but for this sake, let's say it's from the beginning we do that. You will see us coming back to this node to use a special attribute that allows to call the agent, but we'll do it later. If you see here, there's a setting in the next two tabs, General and Setting. We'll go to the setting later in the demo. I press the OK button. Okay, if this did solve the problem, we'll go to other direction and thank the customer. We'll use another statement node for this. Thank you. Again, as you see, I keep telling you, it's easy. Okay, give it a page title, press the button, and again, the next step, connect the nodes. You will see now, when I connect the nodes, it will prompt me again for the yes and the no. You see? Wow, our flow is coming together nicely. I like it. Okay, so we start here at the welcome node, asking the power light is on, ask them to verify the power connection, and then either start a return process or thank the customer. Let's use a new type of node. If the power light is on, our next step is to find out if the modem is connected directly to the computer or through a router. We use the question node as before, but then you will see how we present option to the customer. Now you use the choice element. Before we had the yes, no, now we choose the choice element. Choice can have multiple choices from the user. We will have just two, but you can have as many as you want. The first choice here is that it is connected to a router. So I'm typing router. It is connected to a router. The other choice is that it is connected directly to the computer. So again, we take a statement. I think you saw it. Give it a name, give the choice, and press the echo button. And the next step is just to simply, we'll have only to simply connect the questions to all the available choices. That's all. So let's finish out the script. If they are connected to a router, we'll ask them to disconnect the router and connect the modem directly to the computer. I'm sure you will all have been through that level 1 support process before. Trying to remember how many times my wife tell me, Gideon, I have a problem, and from work I tell, disconnect and connect, it will be fine. So next time I'll give her the JMA application. The disconnect title, press the OK button, connect the nodes. So now after the disconnect, let's ask if it solved the problem by connecting back to the solved node. Okay, so the other option is to reset. And then after we ask the customer to reset the modem, we'll also ask him to check if the problem was solved. Again, you'll see we connect again to the solved node. Okay, our script is almost done, but let's enable the customer to reach out to your contact center at this return node. You remember I told you we're going to be back to that. So we do this under the setting of the return node and enable call and chat. Okay, we're almost done. I want to emphasize again that this is obviously a very simple interaction. You can create far more complex interaction with system integration, business rules, and more. This is just to give you a feel for the design environment. We need to set our start element, and then we are ready to publish this. This is the start element. Okay. I will soon publish the interaction we just built. Okay? If you downloaded the mobile application, log in using Jacada12 at jacada.net. I repeat, go to the first screen when you have to put your email and write Jacada12, Jacada12 at jacada.net, jaca.net. And you will see only the welcome interaction because I haven't published it yet. Okay, what I built haven't been published. I'm going to publish it very soon. But I want you to see that you can log in, just see the welcome screen and be ready. I'm going to publish. Okay. So now I go to the publish. I press the publish button. Okay, it should be published now. If you use your mobile application and log back in, you will see the new interaction we just published. You see it's instant deployment. Those of you following on their devices will see our interaction. For those who are not using smartphones, we will show you here how our interactions looks on an iPhone. Here is our modem troubleshooting script we just published. We will explore various paths, and you see I'm clicking through it. You see the next and the back. You see this is, we call it click to continue options, that you can have multiple choices. And here is the call button that we enabled. Okay. Assuming we connected to your CTI, we can present the waiting time, and we can then offer callback option, which saves the customer the need to wait for an agent. In the future, we will integrate it with the smartphone calendar. And just for the fun, we'll go down one of the other branches of our script. So we log in again. Select the modem troubleshooting, have the yes/no questions. This time connected to a router. Does it resolve the issue? Okay. And we're again in the situation that we need to call the agents. As I mentioned, we built a simple script here, but you can see you can have much more sophisticated script than that. And here I'm going to show you a few examples of scripts. This was our script. This is a little bit more advanced. And you see these squares, you can have what we call scripts that call other scripts, and you can build them one that call the other, which makes it easy to manage. We have customers with hundreds of scripts, hundreds of interactions, and approaching the 800 in some cases. Well, thank you for following along until now. We'll close up now with information. I want you to stay with me because I have more information on the benefits of the product. Okay, and then we'll go to the question and answers. GMA is moving to the mobile is not just if you have to do it, but it has significant benefits for you as an organization, talking about from reduction of average handling time. And I spoke with many customers about it. When you think about when you get an interaction to the agent, and the agent knows who is the customer, they know what they want, and the screen is already pre-populated with the data needed, and it is in exactly the same windows that are open to handle the call, you save definitely between 30 to 60 seconds of a call for every call that's from a smartphone. That's a big number. And everyone agrees that's what it is. And in addition, you have the reduction in calls because of people using the self-service. Once you have self-service, people don't call at all. So we're talking about reduction to 30 to 66 seconds plus additional self-service application. From the IT point of view, there are great benefits. No need to do a republish of application, not go to approval at Apple. Everything the business people can do. And also the one IDE, our development designer, can publish interaction that can be both on your website and on your mobile. Now, some of our customers, they already have existing applications. Not all of them, but some of them. So for them, we also have a solution. What we do, we supply you with all you've just seen as a reference application. Okay, what this means, it's a SDK, what we call a JMA SDK, that you can attach and develop it with your own application. So your own application will continue to be there. We will be just part of it. So whenever today you have a call button that just shows the numbers of your call center, the call button now can start our application, and it will look from the user like it's one application, not two applications. And this SDK really provides fine-grained control over all the features and functionality that really allows you the ability to make the look and feel look exactly like your application. I just want to mention that if you don't have an application, you don't have to have an application. We also have a version that can work through smartphones through the browsers. So mobile will be the primary engagement channel. You do not have the luxury or time to take or wait and see. Your competitors will be there next year. You have to be the same. So we say plan for a mobile strategy today. And finally, you can do exactly what I did here today. We offer a free trial download that allows you to instantly create and publish your interaction and to test them on your mobile device. Visit our website and download your free copy today.
Thank you, Gideon. We have a few questions and answers that have already entered our Q&A session. If you have any more, please type your questions in the Q&A window that is in your web browser for the webinar. So we'll start with a few questions that are already in the Q&A window. One of the first ones we have here, the question, Gideon says, can you please explain how to integrate to our business applications?
Okay, yeah, I haven't shown you all the details. The way it works is that your IT, if they have web services, they need to build something that we give them, a small tool that generates an icon on the designer. Then from the business point of view, they click, I click the question and the statement, they click another icon that really has all the connectivity to the underlying business and make it very, very easy. If you downloaded our designer, you will see some, in the examples, you will see some examples of how to do it, and also on our website.
Okay, great. Let's see, the next question we have here says, I couldn't tell from the demo, but what happens when a user chooses the call option and then reaches an agent? How does that work?
Okay. The idea, of course, is to reduce the number of calls to the call center. However, sometimes you need to call. And what happens behind the scene is that we connect to the CTI and make it the call to the user, to the agent. When the agent picks up get the information, there is something called attached data. So we know what was the call. We have some information about the call. We go to our server, get all the information, and present it to the user.
Okay, great. Here's a question that seems to have been a popular question, so let's go ahead and put it out there. The question says, can you share anything on this webinar regarding JMA pricing?
Yeah, usually people ask about pricing. we see the world today moves more and more to pricing which has correlation with the business, which means if the business is successful, then you want the pricing to be attached. And that's what we're trying to move. We're offering multiple pricing options. However, one of them is not just a traditional perpetual license fee, but also transaction fee per transaction. If you make the calculation that each transaction saves 30 to 60 seconds, we get a few of that, some money, take per transaction or per self-service transaction. So the benefits are really directly paid by themselves. So all this product is being paid by itself immediately.
Okay, Gideon, let's see the next question. Let's see, it says, can you explain how you can bypass the mobile app approval process?
Okay, the way it works is that our mobile app is really a generator. Okay, we do not generate a mobile application, we generate metadata. And the metadata is saved on the server, and the application itself, what it does, it really reads the metadata and generates the UI. So by this way, you don't need to go to Apple and ask again and again for your approval. You only have to do it once. You got approval for the application, and we generate a new UI each time.
Okay, great. Let's see. Next question. Someone asked, we already have a mobile app, and they don't want their customers to have a second additional app. Can they integrate into JMA into their app, their existing app?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but in my last slide, you have today an existing application, and both it can be either iPhone or Android application. We give you a small SDK that you integrate with it, and this SDK is really what I mentioned just a few minutes ago, is our renderer for this metadata. So you integrate it into your application, you have control on the user interface, so it will look like your application. And so from a customer point of view, it will look like one application, where behind the scene, it is some of the data comes from your regular application server, and one will come from the JMA server.
Okay, great. Before we go any further, I want to mention that we have very many questions coming into the Q&A window. So any questions we don't answer today, for time's sake, we'll be responding to these questions to you following up on the webinar. So thank you again for attending. Our next question says, can the solution be integrated with third-party CTIs? We
do not have our own CTI. We always integrate with third-party CTI. At Jacada, we have a lot of experience of integrating with CTIs, with many CTIs through our years. It's not easy, we know, but we have this experience. So definitely we do that.
Okay. So the next question, they say, I couldn't tell from the demo, but what happens when a user chooses the call option and then reaches an agent? How does that work?
I think someone else also asked it before, but I can repeat it. Again, it also comes, I see, with a CTI question as well. So maybe I'll be a little bit more technical in details. When someone on the app press the call button, we are connected then to the server. On our server, we have a connectivity to the CTI. Okay, that's something that we have built in. Then we tell the CTI about this call, and we have attached data that identifies which call is it and what we call interaction ID. When the call comes to the agent, the agent has the pop-up screen. It gets the attached data from the CTI, and with this attached data, which is the interaction ID, we go to the JMA server and get all the data about the interaction and all the interaction history, and then we populate all the screens on the desktop. One of the things people to know, let's assume for a call we just had a call return. Okay, for a call return, for example, in certain companies, you have to open 5 different windows. We already opened these windows. We have desktop automation products that we also have for many, many years. So we open all the windows that need for this certain of transaction, already pre-populate them. So I'm just thinking about how much time is being saved from the agent point of view by doing all this pre-populate of the data.
Okay. As I said before, our time is growing short, but we have several questions, and we will be responding to those questions following the webinar. One final question here. Let's say I understand the modem troubleshooting script you created here, and I understand you made it fairly simple. Can you talk about how to create complex interactions with business rules?
Okay. You have the ability to create interactions and save them and call one interaction to another. You can even use this designer to build interaction without user interface, which are really business rules. And we haven't seen some clients implement complex mathematical models using our rules capabilities. You can tie also this to your underlying business application at any point, because sometimes you want to use some other engines. But again, if you want to have more details about that, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Okay, great. We actually have one last question that's come in that I do want to put out there. The question I have is, can we integrate JMA with existing customer service self-service channels like web, IVR, etc.?
Yes. So the answer is yes, and let me also explain how. You saw the designer. The designer is the same. The designer actually generates, as I mentioned, a metadata, and then we have generator. We have renderers. We have renderers on iPhone, we have renderer for Android, and we have renderers for self-service. The self-service will look different than the one you look here, but it's the same flow. The user interface, you want it to be like your web application. Well, the iPhone needs to be like your iPhone application. That's the reason we have different renderers. And regarding the IVR, we are something that will be probably in the future that we are planning to take VXML and import VXML to our product and really generate back VXML.
Okay, great. Well, once again, thank you, Gideon, for giving us this insightful information on the Jacada Mobile Agent product. And thank you all for attending today, Jacada's webinar, Add Self-Service to Your Mobile App in 15 minutes. The webinar will be available as a recording, and there will be a link sent to you later on so you can share with your associates. And the questions we're not able to answer today will also be responded to as well. So once again, thank you for attending, and have a great day.
Thank you very much, everyone.